This is a request by Mr. Ingersoll for order to show cause as to some missed parenting time in June. I believe the dates are 6/7, 6/14, and 6/21. I've reviewed the individual parenting time paperwork submitted by Mr. Ingersoll. I've also reviewed the response from Ms. Carnahan. Mr. Truce, have you had sufficient opportunity to be ready to proceed today?
Yes, Your Honor.
You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Ingersoll?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Carnahan?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead and put your hands down. Mr. Ingersoll, do you want to tell me what your requirements or what your request is and why you want me to do that?
My request would be to actually have my children at your order, and then the order actually be followed by the mothers.
All right. Have you spoken with Riot's counselor?
I have not.
Ms. Carnahan, why is it that
Yes, Your Honor.
Riot didn't see his dad, or what happened on June 7th, June 14th, and June 21st?
The visits were going okay. I had actually let him go 3 times in that week. The last week that he had him instead of just the one. I had been going to work more. And so Nigel would come and pick him up from here, and they would have dinner, and it was going all right. And then it went south. I went to pick Riot up from Nigel's. Nigel had put Riot in a headlock. Riot got mad at him, and then Nigel did it again. And I told Nigel, you have to stop. You're going to end the visit badly. We're just going to end it like this. Riot had came home, and then the following week, according to Riot, he didn't tell any of the kids that he was getting married. Riot and Nigel got into a yelling match outside. I made Riot come inside because he was just wearing a t-shirt and his underwear at the time. I gave him their space. About the following week, we were driving through Nigel's subdivision, and I asked Riot, would you like to stop and talk to your dad, see if you guys can hash this out? Riot said no. I gave him a couple of days. I asked Riot, will you call your dad? He told me no. I waited a couple more days, asked Riot again, hey, will you call your dad? He told me no. We waited a couple more days, asked him again. I finally got Riot to call his dad. It ended up in them yelling at each other on the phone. Riot hung up on him. And then the following week, Nigel showed up at the house. They got into another argument. Riot shut the door in his face. Riot's been talking it over with Pam. It's taken us weeks. And I think their last phone conversation went well. I think that Nigel seen that it was starting to go south, so he cut the conversation off before it could go south again. I took Riot to go see his counselor on Tuesday, and I haven't gotten a chance to talk with Nigel yet about it, or Riot talk with him. We've been pushing for Riot to go back and see his dad, but he's kind of been dead set on not. However, Pam, myself, and Nigel, we got Riot to agree for Nigel to take him to Alpenfest for a few hours in a public setting. Riot was still pretty discouraged about it, but we ended up getting him to agree to do it.
Who is we got him to agree?
Myself, Nigel, and Pam, Riot's counselor.
Okay. So what, if anything, has the counselor recommended other than this Alpenfest trip as things are developing through the summer?
So far at the last visit, the only thing that she came up with was that Nigel take Riot on a Monday or Tuesday to Alpenfest because he has Monday off, give him a couple of hours in a public setting. And then she was going to meet with Riot on Wednesday to see how that visit went and go from there.
All right. Do you have any, Ms. Carnahan, do you have any opposition to the counselor talking directly to Nigel and try to kind of fill him in on where she thinks she's going? The court order says that we're going to go through May through July and then have a report from the counselor. But it sounds like things are kind of deteriorated a little bit more than I expected. And I think it might be helpful if Mr. Ingersoll can have some time with the counselor just to kind of find out where she's going. Do you have any objection to that?
No, absolutely not.
Mr. Ingersoll, what do you think about, or Mr. Truce, what do you think about that suggestion?
Hey, Your Honor, I don't have any opposition to that. I mean, the concern that I would express here to the court, I certainly understand at Riot's age, you know, and with the circumstances that his relationship with Mr. Ingersoll may be strained at times. I don't think that's an uncommon thing for a teenager. I have concerns, though, that, you know, the teenager here is driving the bus and basically dictating that he's not going to follow the court order. And I mean, it feels like when the court issues an order, it should be followed, and it shouldn't be the teenager dictating to mom or dad that they're just not going to follow their instructions or the court's instructions.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I set up in the original order that Riot was going to talk with his counselor on a regular basis, and I was going to have a review hearing at the end of July to see how things went. So the court can't be involved in micromanagement. So there does have to be some opportunity for the parties, including the child, to learn how to deal with each other again, now that Mr. Ingersoll is back from his time in prison. And I knew that there was going to be ups and downs to that. So I set a preset time period for a review. It sounds to me, at least from Ms. Ingersoll's testimony, that she is making appropriate attempts to have Riot meet with his dad on a regular basis. And that's really all I can ask her to do. It sounds like there's been some rough spots between Riot and Mr. Ingersoll, including some headlocks and some yelling and screaming matches with each other, which are a bit disappointing. But again, I don't want to say it's normal, but they're going to have to learn how to deal with each other. Mr. Ingersoll is clearly wants to be involved, but there's a way to go about this appropriately. And I think that the counselor could help him at least understand Riot and Riot's needs, as I believe Riot does have some needs that are above and beyond the ordinary. And so we all have to learn how to do that. So my thought at this point, and I'll hear some argument again, Mr. Truce, if you wish, my thought is that Mr. Ingersoll have a short phone conversation with the counselor, and the counselor explain where she anticipates going. And I think this idea of going to a public place for Alpenfest could be a good opportunity to get some trust for both of them as we continue. And then we're going to have a review hearing sometime in August or September, once with that parenting time that's in the court order is already set up. So I think there's supposed to be a review hearing in August, if I remember correctly. And so we're looking at about a month or a month and a half at most of continued parenting time with the involvement of the counselor. So any comments that you have, Mr. Truce?
So just a couple of things that I would indicate from the court records. It looks like 8/14, maybe when that review hearing is set. At least that's what I show the next date to be. I have a couple points that I would clarify. I mean, I think, and I think Mr. Ingersoll agrees, the Alpenfest idea, I think is a good idea. Mr. Ingersoll reports to me that he actually suggested that idea. In any event, I mean, I think that's a good idea. In the time period between now and the review hearing, I mean, are the parenting times going to continue to be ordered as scheduled?
Yeah, I'm not changing things. again, I would ask Ms. Carnahan to make every effort to get Riot to go to those parenting times. On the other hand, if he's 13 and throws a fit, at some point I'll address that in the future, but I'm not going to do it on a daily basis. I don't think I can and should do it on a daily basis. I need to give both sides some ability to learn how to do this. Riot has some needs to know things ahead of time, but he also needs to know that he's got to go to his dad when the court says he's got to go to his dad. But that's a learning curve. So I'm not changing under these circumstances, I'm not changing the parenting time order. So mom is still required to try to get him to go. Dad needs to learn how to make that as easy as possible. And headlocks and yelling and screaming probably isn't the way to do it. Somewhere in between for both parties would be appreciated. And then we'll assess at that in August at the next court hearing.
And Your Honor, to the extent during these parenting times that Riot does want to stay with his father, because Mr. Ingersoll has reported to me there are times when he has asked to stay longer, is that permissible to make up for some of the lost parenting time?
I can't say that the lost parenting time is Ms. Carnahan's fault.
Okay, got it. I see what's going on here.
Mr. Ingersoll, do you have something to say to me?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. I see what's going on here.
Then say it.
That I think it is ridiculous, Your Honor, that you are saying, oh, she's got to make her best effort to make him come with me. I put in 4, almost 5 parenting time complaints, and she is already not following your orders. Like, what do you mean? I show up and he's not even dressed, Your Honor.
Mr. Ingersoll. She is not violating the orders, Mr. Ingersoll. Your son is. Do you really want me to do something to your son?
Your Honor, you said last time we were in court that my son wasn't old enough to make those decisions, and now you're letting his mother just get away with not following your order.
No, I'm saying that he's at fault, but I'm not going to put him at being at fault. That you're exactly right. He's not old enough to make those decisions, but she has been following my orders.
She hasn't. No, she hasn't.
Mr. Ingersoll, who makes that decision?
I thought it was you, but apparently my son makes the rules.
Mr. Ingersoll?
Yes, sir.
Sit down and be quiet. Mr. Truce, speak to your client. I don't think he wants to be held in contempt. They still in or not?
They are still in. He's just turned off his video.
You ready to proceed, Mr. Truce?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Is there anything else that you want to argue on your client's behalf, Mr. Truce?
Your Honor, I just want to address the allegation that Mr. Ingersoll placed his child in a chokehold. Mr. Ingersoll reports to me that they were playing on the trampoline. They were wrestling around, which again is not an inappropriate activity to happen with a 13-year-old. I mean, that is the context in which this is going on. This is not, this is not how this is painted to be. Thank you.
Your Honor, I was there and witnessed it. It actually happened in their kitchen. Aloria was there too, along with another person sitting at the table.
All right. Be that as it may, I'm trying to give both sides enough room to knock off the rough edges and to reestablish a relationship. I think we're making progress, and I won't know for sure until I hear from the counselor in another month. So, Mr. Ingersoll, I'm going to give you an opportunity after the month has been completed to have a full and fair hearing, if you wish, on anything that you want to have a hearing on. But the original order was set up so that we would have May through July as this testing out process for some initial contact. And then Riot could have his counselor address any of those issues from either side or from Riot. So that's what I intend to do. So I'm not taking away your right to have these things fully and fairly processed, but I don't believe that today is the appropriate time to do it. Hopefully, in the next month, you can develop an ongoing relationship with Riot. If not, we'll address it after the counselor has the ability to process it with Riot and submit a report. I would hope that you would take advantage of the opportunity to meet with or to speak with the counselor and put in your 2 cents so that the counselor can make whatever adjustments are necessary to assist you in having a relationship with your child. For now, I don't see any purpose served in changing anything. So the counseling and the parenting time will proceed as is in the current order, and we'll address this at the review hearing in August. Is there anything else, Mr. Truce?
Not for today's record. Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Carnahan, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
I'll see everybody in August. Next matter is Nigel Ingersoll and Cassandra Ingersoll, file 23-19438-DM.
She is not present. She's not logged on at all either.
Ms. Ingersoll is not present. It is now 2:22. This matter was set for 1:30. In the court's order dated 2/23 of 26, a review hearing regarding additional or ongoing parenting time was to be held on July the 10th at 1:30 in the Otsego County Family Court. So the parties have had notice of this today's hearing since at least the end of February. Mr. Truce, from your client's perspective, how did the parenting time with Roman go over the last few months?
So, Your Honor, in February, March, April, and May, Mr. Ingersoll traveled down to Tennessee, and I would say generally the parenting time there went well. I think there were some hiccups along the way, but ultimately, I think the parenting time there generally went well. In June, Cassandra was supposed to bring Roman here to Otsego County, where Mr. Ingersoll was supposed to have a visitation here. That visitation did not happen. Miss Ingersoll went straight through to the UP, did not drop Roman off. So that visitation obviously did not occur as planned. I would suggest to the court, I think, that continuing to expand the parenting time and custody here is appropriate, working towards, I would say, 50-50 custody.
What do you suggest specifically?
So we would ask for summers and holidays at this time.
Well, going from a few days at a time to summers, when you say summers, what are you looking for there? The entire summer, every other week? I mean, the parties do live in Tennessee and Michigan, so it's a little difficult transportation-wise with a young child.
So
Right.
that whole summer would be appropriate.
Right, and Your Honor, that's why that suggestion is made, because that way the transition period could essentially be at the beginning of the summer and the end of the summer, recognizing, again, we're halfway through this summer right now. But again, the visitations have gone well. And again, I mean, the only hiccup in this appears to be, and I hesitate to say bad faith on the part of Cassandra, but I mean, again, Mr. Ingersoll made the trip to Tennessee every time he was supposed to, at every opportunity he had to see his child. So again, I would ask the court to continue to expand, even if the court didn't order summers at this time. I mean, I would ask for extended visitations. Again, we're continuing to build trust and rapport here.
Here.
Roman is 4, right?
Yes, sir.
And you were out of Roman's life for a little over 2 years, is that correct?
No, sir, that is incorrect. It was under 2 years. It's like 22 months.
All right. That was the end of 23 to mid 25.
Yes, sir.
Did you have, Mr. Ingersoll, did you have any contact with Ms. Ingersoll as to why she was unwilling to drop off Roman on a
Did.
trip to the UP?
I did. She called me. She called me 2 minutes before I was supposed to pick her up and threw a fit over my plans for the day. When she planned on dropping her off, even though it was supposed to be a supervised, she told me that she couldn't do your ordered 5 visits. So she was going to give me 2.5 days unsupervised, and I was fine with that until she decided she didn't like my plans for the day and she didn't let me have my daughter.
What were your plans for the day?
I mean, it's irrelevant, but I was attending a wedding ceremony.
Yours?
It was.
Did you tell anybody about that?
I did. And I thought it was a gift from the universe that my daughter's mom was going to drop her off hours before I was supposed to get married. I took that as a little gift from the universe that just got ripped right away from me because obviously neither one of them respect your orders.
Well, Ms. Ingersoll is going to address the court for her failure to appear today. And I'll deal with that on a separate basis.
And Cassandra has blocked all my phone calls, so I don't have any contact. I messaged her and asked if I could talk to my daughter, and she said no, and she cut me off.
Mr. Ingersoll, when does Roman begin school?
I'm assuming August is Tennessee school year.
Will she be 5 this year or next year?
She'll be 5 in December.
What is the normal cutoff for school? November? For being 5 in kindergarten? If she's not 5 until December, they may not let her go to school this year. I don't know what Tennessee law is, but Michigan law, my memory is if they're not 5 by November, they typically don't let them to go because they're too young.
They do have an early head start, Judge. I don't know if Tennessee has that.
Yeah,
There may
she
be a
may be
head start
eligible for
issue.
like a
But she
Right.
has to prepare.
Yeah, so I hesitate if she's living in Tennessee with mom to give you ongoing, to make a schedule right now for ongoing past the summertime. Without knowing that kind of information about what her school time looks like. So I can give you 2 weeks in August. That would give everybody time to plan it and to make arrangements for the transportation. But to go much beyond that, all right, here's what I'm going to do. 2 weeks in August.
can do whatever.
phone contact, 1 time per week. Alternating holidays pursuant to the 46th Circuit Court long distance schedule. And a review hearing. Let's put it in April of 27 regarding summer parenting time in 27. So you get your time for a couple of weeks in August for this summer. That will be here in Michigan, unless you want to go down to Tennessee. I'll leave that up to you, but
Your Honor, I've been down there. I've been down to Tennessee 5 times. I think it's time for her to come up here.
I kind of figured that, but you're going to have to make arrangements for transportation. That may mean that you have to meet her halfway, or you have to go down once and talk it over with your attorney. But you're going to have to work that out. So 2 weeks in August, phone contact once a week, ongoing, alternating holidays pursuant to the 46th Circuit Court long distance parenting time schedule, and a review hearing in April to get ready for the summer of 27. And we'll discuss what that means as far as parenting time at that time based on how things go so far. Mr. Truce, would you prepare that order and submit it to me, please?
I just want to make sure that I have everything. So phone calls once per week, alternating holidays pursuant to the court's parenting time calendar, 2 weeks in August. Is it just 2 weeks, or is there a specific time period we're setting?
No, 2 consecutive weeks. So that I don't want the child bouncing back and forth. So that's kind of what I gave him, a little longer period of time, so the child only has to come up once and go back once. At 4, that's a huge issue for the child, moving that much. So I want to do it once and have him have sufficient time to develop a relationship with her. So 2 weeks here, consecutive. It doesn't matter to me which weeks he picks, but we'll leave it at that.
Okay. And then review in April of 27 for summer of next year.
Correct.
I think I can handle that, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Ingersoll.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's all for today.